Hello and welcome to the French Grand Prix of Great British Race Off. Welcome back, everybody. It's been a couple of races since we spoke. Last race in Canada was obviously not commentated on by me. I had a week off with the family, so it's very nice. But here I am again in sunny France, south of France, Le Castellet, home of the French Grand Prix. And we're really looking forward to an interesting race, despite the flat, featureless nature of the circuit. But they haven't left it flat and featureless because they've painted blue and red lines all the way around all the runoffs. Why have they done that, I hear you ask? Well, I don't hear you ask that because I can't hear you, but I'm sure you'd be asking during the race. It makes your eyes go blurry, says some of the drivers, especially Fernando Alonso when they were here racing a few weeks ago in the Formula One race. So focus on the black stuff, ignore the blue and red lines because they have much less grip and they'll chew your tyres up if you slide over them and lock up as well. So penalties for going wide by less grip and damaging your tyres. So keep it on the black stuff, pretend there's walls around you. So qualifying is about to start. We have the usual four drivers, the Caleb, Chaz, Jackaroo and Thunderdog, very close in the championship standings. So Kian won last time out and he's retaken the lead by 4 points from the Caleb. He's on 165 and Caleb on 161. Chaz a further 28 points further back on 133 and Jackaroo on 96. So how important is pole position in the French Grand Prix? Well, it's always important to start in a good position for these races, but there's a couple of long straights, plenty of opportunities for overtaking, so it's not going to be as important as somewhere like Monaco or Baku. So let's see what happens with that. The session's about to start, and they'll all be out on softs, most likely. We'll see how we get on, and it's interesting in practice during the week, very, very closely matched practice times. Just a tenth or so between Caleb and Thunderdog, and less than a second back to Chaz. I don't think Jack's had a chance to get a lot of practice in, so we'll see how he fares in qualifying. Car's starting to take to the track. The sun is shining. Looks like a dry session. So we'll be looking forward to their first runs now. Let's see how they get on. And we're going to go straight down to Karoon in the pits. Yes, hello everybody. Yes, in fact, Thunderdog has only just gone out of the pits. Last minute setup changes for him. He's decided to change some settings on the downforce, and it's very crucial to get the right setting. Now, has he made a bold tactical move that was going to help him for the race, or has he done something here for qualifying? But remember, whatever changes you make now, you're in parc fermé conditions, and you will not be able to change back for the race. Yes, thanks for that. Let's see how they get on. And they're just on their outlaps now, warming their tyres up, ready for their first runs. Chaz has got traffic right in front of him for the start of his quali lap, so that's possibly not the best, but he's going to get a tow down into turn one. So maybe if he can get through and not get his turn one compromised, then maybe it'll give it. It's forced him wide, and that's possibly ruined Chaz's first lap there. He's holding up his hand there saying, "What are you doing? Let me past." So that's ruined his first lap. So he'll go around for another warm-up lap and see what he can do next time. So let's have a quick look at how Jackaroo is getting on. Here he goes, coming around lap. He's on his time lapse, so 23.6 for the opening sector. Just coming onto the main straight. The main straight, of course, interrupted by this chicane in the middle of it. Used to be the case 20 years ago when I was racing that this was one long straight, not interrupted at all, and the speeds that they would be reaching senior corner along right-hander without the chicane would really be truly frightening. So that's why they had to put the chicane in there. But here's Jack. He's got Chaz ahead of him on the road, going around senior now. And then this long, slower right-hander, a couple of little braking points. Difficult to judge to get it just right. Late apex there. Bring it back across to the right for this left-hander into here. And this seems to be going quite well. Just a couple of corners to go. A bit of a left-hander before the final right-hander, which is more than 90 degrees. Very tight last corner on this circuit. You don't want to get onto the gas too early. You'll have to come up again. But that looked neat and tidy from GBRO. He finishes his first lap. What's the time going to be? 1:32.485 puts him on provisional pole. GBRO. Let's switch across now to just straight on board there with Chaz. Traffic ruining his lap yet again, but he keeps pushing. I wonder if he's lost that lap in any case. He's still pushing on. Approaching the chicane now. And Caleb has just gone provisional pole, 1:30 dead. So that's a pretty good lap. Still on board with Chaz. And he's probably about the best part of a second off at the moment. And he's got more traffic ahead of him, so really is having a bad run of traffic at the moment. Managed to get around the outside of that one. He's still got more traffic ahead of him, but that one shouldn't compromise him on the run to the line. But there's a yellow flag out there somewhere as well. Looking behind him, and he's backed out of it again. So Chaz's first couple of runs really haven't gone well at all. Completely compromised due to traffic. Let's have a quick look and see what's happening with the Caleb. Underdog is in second place. Going around a bit slower now. He's back on his in lap. And Thunderdog also on an in lap as well. The 31.5. So Caleb quickest on the first runs by quite a margin. Jack back in the pits, Chaz back in the pits. So once they're all back in, Caleb's back in as well, we'll have a look at all the times and compare, see where we're going. Looks like Caleb might be going on another run here. Chaz changing some setups, changing some aero. Might not be able to now that he's not firmly. Let's see. Caleb on another run, but he's already a second down. So this won't be any quicker for the Caleb. So Chaz completely compromised by traffic on both of his first runs. He went for one lap, aborted, went for another lap, and that was ruined by traffic as well. So that's one run down, so he'll be hoping for a clear run next time. That'll be crucial. So the Caleb leads, Thunderdog second, GBRO third at the moment after their first runs, but Chaz yet to get a meaningful lap in. As Jack and Chaz head out for their outlaps, ready for their second run. Thunderdog also entering the pit lane now. Caleb's still coming in after his first run. So let's go on board with Chaz. Coming up the main straight now, so on his outlap. Actually, let's just have a look at the times we can. In fact, Jack has already got a grid penalty. Is this correct? Jack has a grid penalty for a collision with Murray, I believe, already. So I don't think he'll be very happy with that. Plenty of room on the track out there, but Cummings together and Jack and Chaz both having traffic problems already. It looks like it's costing Jack big time with a grid penalty straight away. But let's go back and board with Chaz. So he's completely at the bottom of the time charts at the moment, coming around the final corner, about to start his flying lap. So we'll stay on board for this lap. DRS down the main straight, looking to pick your braking point for a very fast turn 1 and 2. Take as much curb as you can without cutting track limits. There we go. You don't want to go wide. He's gone a bit wide there on corner 2 there. Doesn't lose his lap time, but that can damage the car. Down to 3 and 4. Fourth gear, down to third. Now to the very slow right-hander here. Second gear corner. Now you can go flat out here, or sometimes just have a little bit of a lift. He's gone purple in sector 1. So Chaz, purple in sector 1. This is a much more representative lap. So a good start on after his first runs. And he's got a completely clear track ahead of him as well. So no traffic to disrupt at this time as he approaches the chicanes. Hard on the brakes. Yeah, carry the speed in and then just be patient through the middle. Make sure you get a good exit because you've got another long straight up towards senior corner. Around the scene, it's a flat out right-hander. He's not purple in the middle sector. He comes around this tricky right-hander now, spotting taking a late apex there, back across to the right into the left-hand side. And that's neat and tidy, but he's well down on Caleb's time, I believe, after a great first sector. Coming up to the final corner now, it just needs to be neat and tidy. Patient, onto the gas, and there he goes. And he'll come across the line. Let's see what his time is. 31.8, puts in 1.1 off Caleb's 130.6 into third position there. Okay, so North Thunderdogs having a good lap. Coming towards the end of his lap, purple in sector 1 and he's up in sector 2. This looks like it could be pole for Thunderdog, just 2 corners to go. Can he nail these? Keep it tight across to the left. Patient on the final corner. He's missed the apex. Not too bad. Will it cost him? Certainly cost him a bit of time there. And he crosses the line with a 31.4. So he wasn't quicker in the end, and he's still 7/10 off Caleb, despite he was about 7/10. He must have lost 5 or 6 tenths in that last sector there, so he'll be disappointed with that, but the pace seems to be there. Caleb's not going to have it all his own way, so we'll jump on board with Caleb now. Purple sector 1. They're all purple in sector 1 now. And he looks like he's 6/10 up on his best already, so great start to the lap for the Caleb into the chicanes. Patient in the middle, carry the speed through. Getting a bit of picture break up there, but looks like he's still up. Purple sector 2 as well, so this is going to cement pole for Caleb if he can finish it off. Another tricky long right-hander, you're looking for that apex, and he's got traffic as well. This could ruin this better lap, and there's a yellow flag as well. He's still pushing on. He's still up. 2 corners to go. And keep it tight in here in the left-hander and be patient through the final corner. He's missed no, he hasn't. He's managed to bring it back in. 30.6 is his best, and he'll cross the line with a 29.8. 8/10 up. Purple, purple, purple. What a lap from the Caleb. That really throws the gauntlet down to the rest of them. 29.8. So that's a massive margin. Certainly looks favourite for pole. A little bit of a lull. And Jack's about to come out again, just 5 minutes of quali left. I wonder if we'll see the Caleb again. He might be happy with that lap. Well, he certainly will be happy with it. Whether he thinks he can go faster or not, that will be the question. So Jack's coming out for warming up his tyres up, ready for another run. Just looking at the times now, we've got 1.6 second gap to Thunderdog, and Chaz just another 3/10 back to Chaz. So very close in second place between Thunderdog and Chaz, just over 3/10 in it. There's only 3 cars on the track at the moment, and Jack another half a second back, but I believe he's got a grid penalty. In fact, we'll go down to Karun in the pits, who's got more on that penalty. Yes, well, I've just been speaking to a Team Jack, and it's very bad indeed. He got blocked completely, and it seemed to be a very unfair penalty. There wasn't much he could do, and the collision was almost unavoidable, say the team. But in the end, the stewards have ruled that he has to have a penalty, so they won't be very happy. I think they'll be certainly complaining about that on the radio. But there we go, he'll probably just have to wear it. Yes, the stewards coming under a lot of fire recently, and it was only a week ago since the British Grand Prix, and some weren't happy with their decision with the Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton incident. Some seem to want more of a penalty, some seem to want no penalty at all. I, for one, thought it was a racing incident. You'll have your own views on last week's incident between Max and Lewis, but it just shows what a difficult job the stewards have, trying to look at things completely objectively and trying to issue a fair ruling on some of these incidents. So in the end of the day, car racing is supposed to be a non-contact sport, so whenever there is contact, there's got to be some blame for both drivers. It's trying to apportion the majority of that blame, isn't it? Okay, so outlaps Jack's on a lap again, so let's have a quick look at that one. And he's down on his personal best in sector 1, but only by a few tenths, so he can still get some improvement if he manages to do a good rest of the lap. He was a bit out of sorts in the middle of the chicane there for the second right-hander. Perhaps wanted a little bit more on the left-hand side, and he's lost another tenth. Still time to make something up in the final few corners in the final sector. Don't know if he's fueled for 2 flying laps or whether the tyres can make that, but this could be his final effort. Final couple of corners. He's making time up on the final corner now, and he's just going to be about a tenth down on his best. So 4th place for Jack, plus whatever grid penalty he's going to receive. Who else is on the lap? And there's more penalties on here. Back to Karun. Yes, more Kian. Thunderdog has a 5-place grid penalty as well. So penalties thick and fast. A penalty for Kian Thunderdog, 5-place grid penalty. That is massive. So everybody's really struggling, and they're not very happy with that. But there we go. Back to you in the commentary box. Thank you for that. Yes, that's going to have huge ramifications on the race. Caleb has already put down a fantastic time that looks like it's going to get pole. But if Thunderdog isn't going to be lining up behind him, Jack's going to be down as well. Then his nearest challenger is going to be Chaz. So that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Great chance for Chaz to score some big points in the race with these grid penalties coming out. Yes, absolutely. That's a good point indeed. So we'll have to see how that pans out. Don't think anyone else is on the lap. There's only 30 seconds to go. So that looks pretty set. Jack's gone for a second lap, so let's jump on board there. He's just 2 tenths down on his best. He had a green first sector, but he was slower in the middle section. It's the final corner now, and he's still a couple of tenths down on his delta. So it doesn't look like he's going to improve. So fastest will be the Caleb by over a second. Thunderdog second fastest, but he's got a grid penalty. Chaz third fastest, so he'll wind up second place, and GBRO will be fourth fastest with a grid penalty coming as well then. And we'll be back for the race. So there we have it. Thunderdog 5-place grid penalty, GBRO 5-place grid penalty. So they'll line up 3, 4, 5, 7th and 9th respectively. And the front row will be the Caleb and Chaz. So that's going to be interesting to see into the first corner, first lap especially. Great chance for Chaz to, well, he'll certainly want to go for it in those early stages of the race. And we saw what happened when Lewis Hamilton knew he had to get past Max on the first lap last weekend at Silverstone. Will we see something similar today in France? Let's hope not. It's the race next.
Is it raining? Actually raining? Oh goodness. Oh, it is raining. Oh. Why are we on softs? Why are we on softs?
Well, welcome to the race. It's overcast. There's rain in the air. It's not massively wet. Track temperature is 26 degrees. It is actually raining, but they're on dry tyres. So let's see what happens with that. Will it clear up? There's certainly sunny spells, but we're about to start. So we'll go on board with probably Chaz to start with. And it's lights out, and away we go. Good start from Chaz. Good start from Caleb. It's very even. Looks like Caleb's going to lead into the first corner. Chaz right behind him. And that's what happens. Now they're on the dry tyres, but it is wet. So let's see how that pans out. Will they have to box for wets, or will the track remain dry enough? Will they be able to get temperature into these tyres to stay on these tyres? Great start from Thunderdog. He's already up to P3. Let's switch to him. Yep, on board with Thunderdog and already up to P3. And we can see Chaz just ahead, gamely chasing the Caleb, who's already opened up the gap to be out of DRS when that eventually opens. As they head down to the chicane for the first time. Thunderdog will be delighted with this start after his grid penalty. So he'll be hunting down Chaz and hoping to get past him as soon as he can. Meanwhile, Caleb up front will be trying to make a bigger gap as possible over Chaz to make for when Thunderdog presumably eventually gets past Chaz, because he has been quicker than him in practice. He was quicker in quali. So let's see how long Chaz can stay ahead. Caleb may be making a mistake. We're on board with Thunderdog at the moment. He's certainly not pulling away. Chaz hanging on very well. Caleb going quite wide round there. Maybe running, possibly running a little bit less downforce than the others, which is now hampering him in these wet conditions. Where you need all the downforce you can because of the slippery conditions. As they go around the final corner, across the line for the first time, Caleb leads by 1.4 seconds from Chaz, who's half a second ahead of Thunderdog. Yep, very, very close between these three as we start the second lap. And Caleb not pulling away like possibly some thought he would. Certainly the rain seeming to help Chaz possibly with a different setup, maybe running a slightly higher downforce setup, and that's helping him through the corners, especially in these wet conditions. Caleb struggling more, and will also help him with tyre life as well, if that is the case. Still 1.4 seconds, so he's completely matching him. So let's just quickly look in at GBRO, see how he's getting on in P6 from his 9th place group start after his penalty, so P6. So he's just got a couple of cars ahead of him before he joins the top 4. If he can get in the inside of scene here. And dives down the inside of Corfin, just does he know, doesn't manage to make it stick. Corfin keeps his foot in around the outside. Jack looking to go down the inside on this late apex right-hander and makes it through into P5, GBRO. Good move by GBRO there, up into P5. Now we have a yellow flag and the director doesn't know where it is. So back on board with Thunderdog in P3, all of a sudden has lost touch with the leaders. He's 4 seconds back, so something's happened there. And the director's missed that, so maybe he's had a bit of a half spin. He seems to be going okay, tyre wear seems to be okay, so let's see how that settles down, see if he can catch the others back up. He's 4 seconds back. They're all still trying to get used to these wet conditions. So we'll jump on board with Chaz. 1.5 seconds behind Caleb, so in the purple first sector. It's getting a bit darker out there as well, but those dry tyres still seem to hold up okay, but they are, what, 1:41.9, so that's 10 seconds off their qualifying. Okay, they've got much more fuel on board, so they'd expect to be probably 7 seconds off. They're a little bit more, so it's not massively slower. So still probably on the correct tyres. And he's hanging on really nice. So we're going to go back on board with Jack, who's right behind Lawson, maybe down the inside into the late apex. No, Lawson shuts the door. Jack looking for a way through. Goes down the inside to the left-hander. And makes it stick. Good move from GBRO there, up into P4. And now he'll be chasing Thunderdog, who's only another 4 seconds up the road. So Jack, despite that grid penalty, this is certainly not over him. He's had a good opening few laps, and he can chase on to Thunderdog now. So back on board with Chaz, just 1.2, 1.3 off the Caleb. Just 1 second off the Caleb actually. So Caleb not getting away in these wet conditions. So if it stays like this, he's obviously got a good dry setup on. Maybe Chaz running more wing, as we said, and that's really helping him stick with him. A bit of a mistake there from Chaz round at the bottom of the circuit, and that's compromised him now. He's lost about half a second there. As they head down towards the first chicane, just needs to keep it neat and tidy. Thunderdog gradually closing in, just 3.5 seconds gap, just a 10th or 2 a lap. So he'll gradually get back onto the back of them by the looks of things, which shows us perhaps Thunderdog at the moment is possibly got the quickest setup, or certainly is going the quickest out of all of them at the moment. Chaz might have something to say with that. He's just gone purple in the middle sector. can't be far off what Caleb can't have been far off going quicker than that, because the gap seems to be opening up as we speak. And Thunderdog also closing in. They're just 3.2 behind. Certainly very dark, but it's not raining hard, and Caleb's now done a 38.9, so it looks like it's drying up. And Thunderdog does a 38.8. That just proves the fact of what I was saying. Perhaps Thunderdog has got slightly the quickest package underneath him today, but his grid penalty has compromised him. Caleb's got out in front and has a gap of about 5 seconds to Thunderdog. So if he can maintain that, so Thunderdog's just got to be patient, play the long game. He'll gradually get back. A lot will depend on if and when he does catch Chaz, how quickly he'll be able to get past him, or whether he'll be able to get past him at all. We'll have to see what happens with that. They're all on the soft tyre. How long will it go? Will it be a one-stop, 27 laps? Probably will be a long stop. We'll probably jump onto the mediums or the hards. But let's see how that plays out. So Caleb increasing his lead now, but just over 2 seconds ahead. So we're going to jump on board with Thunderdog on another good lap. Purple. He's absolutely flying, just 2.4. A little bit wide there, but no track limits at that particular corner. Just 2.4 behind Chaz. Looks like his pit window is open. A bit early for a pit stop at this stage. I wonder how his tyres are getting on. So the Caleb goes fast as 37.11, so it's completely dry track now. Thunderdog 36.2, that's 9/10 of a second quicker than Caleb. So Thunderdog really pushing on well. Really flying. He's only 4.5 seconds off Caleb. Obviously Chaz is in between them both. Also going very well. So at this stage, only 5 laps gone, but you couldn't really pick a winner out of any of them. Obviously, Thunderdog looks the quickest, but he's in P3. So any one of these three could win this race still at this early stage. Jack in P4, because of his much lower grid slot, because of his grid penalties. He's 9 seconds back. But if they get a safety car or something happens, and he's not far off their pace, he could be joining them again. So Thunderdog continuing to impress. Another purple first sector, not so good in the middle sector. And still 2.5 behind Chaz. Certainly seems to be quicker around Senior and then the next long right-hander with the very late apex. He's taken about half a second in those two corners of Chaz. Seems to be where Thunderdog is gaining most of his lap time on the others. It's 1.8 off Chaz now. Caleb is a 36.2. 36.2 and Thunderdog 36.1. So Caleb has responded. And Jack's pitted already. He's gone for an early pit stop. Let's see what kind of tyres he puts on. Into the pits now. And it looks like the hards, so he'll be going to the end on those. Good stop, 2.6 seconds. Let's see where he comes out. He's going to be right towards the back. He's pitted ahead of Lauerson. Curry has gone past, no he hasn't. So he'll come back in P18. Correct. So, but he'll go to the end on those. He just needs to get through the traffic as quick as he can, as and when he catches it. So back to Thunderdog. Just 1.2 now behind Chaz. The pit window is open. He's on lap 7. Will he be in this lap? He'll only lose a couple of places to Carrick and the Roth and somebody else. Actually lose 3 places if he pits now is the projection. But if his tyres are okay, he might want to stay out because he's right behind Chaz now, or he might want to try the undercut. He could get held up by Chaz. So would he go in? Chaz pits. Okay, so he's probably going to do the opposite. Chaz pits. Now, Thunderdog's got to do the lap of his life now. Push, push, push as hard as he can. Then probably pit at the end of this lap and hopefully come out ahead of Chaz. So let's have a look at Chaz's pit stop. Here he is coming down, and he'll be putting on the... Oh, softs again for Chaz. Chaz has gone softs. Well, that's interesting. So he's obviously going to make this into a two-stop. So this will be a two-stop for Chaz. Now, is he going to have a clear run on his outlap? Just having a look here. Yes, because they pitted behind, so there's no one in front of him. He's got a clear track and he's on soft, so that could keep in track position. But he's definitely going on a two-stop. So let's see what Thunderdog's going to do. Purple first sector again from Thunderdog. He'll probably box at the end of this lap. Can he get out ahead of Chaz? And just as importantly, what colour tyres will he go for? Jack up to P4 again already, because everyone else is pit. He's on the hard, so he could go to the end on that. So different strategies already. Now what the leader's going to do. Will Caleb pit this lap as well? Caleb ahead on the track, obviously. He's 4.9 seconds ahead. Let's just have a look to see if he's going to pit. Oh, he's gone very wide. Massive mistake by Caleb, but he's in the pits. So he pits. And what about Thunderdog? Oh, we've got a virtual safety car. Virtual safety car. Well, that's fallen into the hands of people who are pissing now. So that's really helped Caleb because everyone else is slowing down. And Thunderdog doesn't pit. Why didn't he pit? Because he would have benefited under the virtual safety car. So that's cost him big time. He's really missed out on that one. Caleb loses much less time, and we're under green flag conditions again. So Caleb will have gained some time there because they were going slower during his pit stop. He's come out in second place. I can't see the gap. The picture breakup is too bad. Let's have a look on Thunderdog's feed. So we've got a gap of 13 seconds. So that will give Caleb, well, he was in the lead anyway. And Caleb's gone on to the mediums. What happened to Jack? Where's Jack gone? Oh, Jack's pitted again. He's had damage by looks of things and he's gone on to the mediums. If anyone can let me know what happened to Jack, that would be good. And he's also got a 5-second penalty, so he must have had a coming together there. Sorry for missing that one, everybody. So, will Thunderdog be in at the end of this lap? Chaz is now flying. He's gone purple in the first sector. Thunderdog stays out. Again, he's staying out. Nice. Certainly going to try and make it into a one-stop. And the gap is 12. .11 seconds. So Caleb is catching Thunderdog. I really think Thunderdog's missed a trick here. Safety car lucked in a little bit for the Caleb there because he was already in the pit lane and that was starting to happen. Fastest lap from Chaz there, 34.2. The sunshine is out. The track is heating up. And Chaz goes fastest. And remember, he has stopped. And looking at the tyre wear for Thunderdog, 88% front left. So no wonder he's slowing down. He should have pitted a lap or two ago. I really don't know why he stayed out. Down to Karoon in the pits. Yes, it certainly made a blunder on that one. It was unfortunate with the safety car, but he should have pitted. He should have got called in when the safety car was out, but he didn't do it. He stayed out. I don't know why he stayed out. I can't get an answer from the team, but his tyres are gone, and he needs to get in as soon as possible because he's losing lots and lots of time to the Caleb, who's going to be through, and he may well lose third position as well, second position as well to Chaz, so he'll be in this lap, I'm sure. And we're about to get to the pit entry for Thunderdog. 92% tyres, completely gone. And he still doesn't pit. Why is he not pitted? I really don't understand this. I have no idea why he's not pitted. He's going much slower. And who knows? Caleb, why is Thunderdog not pitting?
I don't know.
93% tyre rate. I really don't know why he's not pitting. He's going slower and slower. Caleb only 7 seconds behind him. And Chaz a further 5 seconds behind that. I think there was a penalty there for somebody. The penalty for Chaz. Chaz has a 3-second penalty, possibly for track limits. That's disappointing for him because he's going so well. Just 5 seconds off Caleb. But that 3 seconds will be frustrating for him. He needs to push on as best as he can, keep it within track limits. So 97% tyres now for Thunderdog. Surely now he'll come in. 99% front left. The tyres are going to explode. And finally he does come in. So he managed to go on to lap 11 or lap 12? Into lap 12. So he did a full 11 laps on those softs. He's gone on to the hards, so he'll definitely go. He'll probably go to the end on mediums, but he'll go on to the hards. But really, he's lost so much time with that very strange-looking strategy. So back on board with Chaz. 6 seconds behind Caleb. And then he'll be stopping again because he's gone soft. So he'll have to do another stop at some point. So so the fact that Chaz will have to do another stop will promote Thunderdog back to P2 when that happens, because Thunderdog on the hards will probably be going to the end. So it'll be interesting actually to see whether Caleb can make it to the end on his mediums. Still 15 laps to go at the end of this lap. Stay on board with Chaz for a little while longer. Yeah, and he's on 40% wear. He's on soft, so we know that he will be stopping again at some point. So he'll probably go to the mediums next. He's staying out. Thought he was coming in for a minute, a little bit wide into the penultimate corner. But he may as well go a few more laps so he can go to the mediums and then really push to the end. So let's see how Thunderdog's getting on onto the pit straight now on his hard tyres. So he's 19.9 seconds behind the Caleb. And let's just see what's happening with that gap. You'd think Caleb will be cut that corner there a little bit, Thunderdog, with a warning, so he could pick up a penalty as well if he's not careful. Personal best sector 1 for Thunderdog though, and he's taken 6/10 out of Caleb just in that first sector. So it's not over yet, especially if tyres won't be a problem now for Thunderdog. Depends whether Caleb can get to the end on his mediums, and even if he can, he still might be compromised for pace towards the end. So 14 laps, he's 19 seconds, so he certainly needs more than a second a lap. But if he can but he might be able to catch him more so towards the end of the stint once Caleb's tyres start going off. So as long as he can keep chipping away at that gap, and it's still not over, he's still got a chance. But certainly Caleb looking in a pretty strong position at the moment. But Thunderdog on these hards, because some of the fuel has worn off, he's gone personal best, first two sectors. Obviously track was wet and the soft tyres were at their best, or damp anyway. So lap time's coming down, and 19.1 second gap. And that was a 34.7 for Thunderdog. So he needs to keep pushing on. So let's have a look at Chaz and see what's going on here. He's on lap 14 now, so he's done 2 sets of 7 laps on these tyres. Got that penalty, of course. How much further will he be able to go before he puts his mediums on? Be able to get to the end of the race on mediums quite easily from here, so he doesn't need to worry about that. He can push on. He doesn't need to worry about tyre life once he switches. Will he come in this lap? He's got a back marker ahead that could slow him down. Correa. So it could be a good time to stop. So the next left-hander is the pit entry. Let me go slightly wider. No, he stays out for another lap. Still in P2, of course. But he has got that penalty and he has got to stop again. So he'll come out ahead of Lawson and he's going to go past Correa on the main straight simply enough with DRS. No problem at all. Interesting to see what his tyres looking like, and he cuts corner 2 there, gets a warning. Doesn't want to pick up another 3-second penalty for track limits. And now some pits, so there's no problem behind for these top 3. Just keep pushing on and not have to worry about reclaiming position. So 60% tyre wear on the front left for Chaz. So he needs to get into the pits as soon as he can, get those mediums on, 12 laps to go. So let's have a look at Thunderdog riding over the curbs in the chicane there, and he's on a personal best and still 19.6 gap to the Caleb, so he's not making any inroads. His tyres are fine, 14% wear front left, so that'll be fine. He can go to the end on those. So it'll be interesting to see what Caleb's tyres are like. So it's still touch and go with the tyre wear that those hards are getting. Will Caleb be able to get to the end? That's the issue. He's not doing personal best laps. He's got a back marker ahead. Straight through him because he's ghosted. And Chaz does pit. He's put the mediums on. So he'll come out in 3rd place and a fair way back from Thunderdog. 15 seconds at the moment, and he's still got the 3-second penalty to apply as well. He's on faster tyres, of course mediums compared to Thunderdog, so he'll be hoping he can reduce that gap somewhat, and hopefully Thunderdog, from Chaz's perspective, will make a bit of a mistake and give Chaz a chance to fight for 2nd place. See how that pans out. Still has fastest lap, of course, as well. So Caleb's still maintaining the gap, so his tyres are obviously still okay, 19.9 seconds. And just a quick nod to GBRO, back to P6 now. Still carrying that penalty, of course, but he's up to P6 on the mediums, 41% tyre wear. 11 laps or so to go, so his tyres aren't going to be great towards the end, but he should be able to get to the end on those mediums. Up to P6, see if we can get a couple more positions and get back up into the top 4. So the gap Caleb has is pretty static, 19.9. It looked like first lap or two, Thunderdog came out of the pits, got it down to 19.0 pretty quickly. Looked like he was going to start gradually eating into the lead, but it hasn't happened. It's back to what it was, 19.9 seconds. It seems to be just staying there. So his only hope is to try and get to the end at this pace and hope that Caleb is forced to pit due to tyre life. Still with 10 laps to go, and I'm hearing from Team Caleb that he is boxing this lap, so all of a sudden this race is going to come alive. Now, can he get back out into the lead, or will he come out right behind Thunderdog? So Thunderdog needs to push on. Caleb is coming into the pits, we believe, at the end of this lap, so it's crucial. And Thunderdog is at a purple middle sector. He knows that this is still on. Caleb comes into pit lane and doesn't crash, so that's good. Purple middle sector from Thunderdog. He's pushing as hard as he can. He needs to get track position, because otherwise, if Caleb gets back out into the lead with fresh tyres, he'll be away. There'll be no catching. Thunderdog runs wide there, and he's approaching the final corner. So this is crucial. He's just got to be neat and tidy. Mediums on for Caleb, and Thunderdog comes round the final corner, and it's going to be very, very close. And it looks like Thunderdog's going to take it. Through he goes, yes, Thunderdog takes the lead. Well, what a race we've got on now. So Thunderdog leads, but Caleb is on faster tyres behind, and a 3-second penalty for Thunderdog for track limits. So that's really going to help the Caleb. So the Caleb won't even need to overtake him. 3-second time penalty. So Thunderdog will be kicking himself for that. But he does have track position, he's in the lead. But Caleb has faster tyres and fresher tyres. So surely Caleb, big favourite now to take this race, despite that late pit stop giving Thunderdog track position, but then Thunderdog immediately picking up a penalty. Just 1.4 seconds in it. And Chaz a further 16 seconds back. 15 seconds back. So let's see how Caleb's going to handle this. Will he try and get past on the track anyway? Or will he be patient and sit? Will he learn from his mistakes last time out in Canada, where he could have been a bit more patient, but he had a couple of comings together, one with Thunderdog, at least one with Thunderdog, and he came off the worst with that. Thunderdog took the victory. Now, will he have learnt his lesson? Will he just sit patiently behind, knowing that as long as he finishes within 3 seconds of Thunderdog, he'll take the victory? Or will he go for the overtake anyway? Virtual safety car. Virtual safety car. So they all have to reduce their speed and go to the delta. So I don't know what's happened out on the track, but the safety car is out, and I don't know if GBRO is really going to that speed. Seems like he's going very quickly. Virtual safety car is ending. And Caleb's thrown it away again. Caleb's got a drive-through penalty for going too fast behind the safety car. So his patience, or lack of, has done him again. Drive-through penalty for the Caleb. Can't believe it. All he had to do was sit there patiently, but no, he wasn't able to do it. He's gone too fast under the safety car, or the virtual safety car, and that could hand another victory to Thunderdog. On board now, drive-through penalty must be served in the next 3 laps. There we go, on the screen. So will he come straight in to serve that? Get it out of the way? Yes, he will. He'll be very frustrated with this, but he has no one to blame. These things happen. Very frustrating, of course. So Thunderdog, that's going to give him a good 20-second lead, and it could well promote Chaz as well. Up to P3, up to P2 even. Is he through? Yes, Chaz is up into P2. Now he's carrying a 3-second penalty, and the Caleb's right behind him. But that's given the race to Thunderdog, that is, because Caleb's going to be furious with himself. He's going to get stuck behind Chaz now, so he won't be able to close down on Thunderdog. So just as though we were looking at a good race between Thunderdog and Caleb, Thunderdog picked up that penalty, seeming to hand the race to Caleb. He could just sit there, insert virtual safety car, and then Caleb sped under it, and that's handed the race completely back to Thunderdog, who has a 17-second lead over this battle for second place now, which Chaz will be certainly keen to hang on to, on the road anyway. He has got a 3-second penalty, of course. Now, will Caleb be able to get past Jackson in the pits again? Caleb trying to go around the outside of Chaz. Chaz defending well. That marker ahead. All very close there. Now approaching the final corner. Will he dive down the inside, Caleb? No, he won't. Takes the wider line. And he's trying to dive down the inside of the final corner, and there's contact. But they both continue. And Chaz still has P2 on the road. Oh, and they touched again, and Caleb spun off. And that's it. And that, well, he's gone now from obviously more than 3 seconds behind Chaz. Plenty of time to catch it up again, but he's 5 seconds behind, so he'll need to make up another couple of seconds. So the race falling, it looked like the race was in Caleb's pocket, but it's all become unravelled, and Thunderdog's going to extend his championship lead. Will Caleb be able to get back to P2? Or will Chaz hang on to P2? Let's see what will happen with that. End of lap 21 for Thunderdog, so 6 laps to go. So the gap's 3.7, I think it is. Just Caleb needs just another 7/10 to be net ahead of Chaz, who's carrying that 3-second penalty. And the gap between Chaz and Thunderdog, 19 seconds. So Chaz not making any impression on that gap. So Thunderdog looks like he's got the win in the bag. Caleb looks like he's going to have P2. But of course, if he catches completely up with Chaz like he did before, maybe he'll have another spin, and Chaz could still end up in P2. See what happens with that. But there's a 3-second gap at the moment. Caleb just inside, just about to get inside that 3-second gap, and is now. So he's net second on the road, but let's see how he handles it when he approaches the back of Chaz again. GBRO with as many pit stops is now back up to P10 from personal best in first sector. He's back on the softs, trying to make up a few more positions before the end. Chaz pushing really hard, still threatening track limits. He doesn't want to pick up another penalty. Although it might not make a massive difference because he's only 1.5 seconds ahead of Caleb anyway. If Caleb just chooses to sit there, then that's P2 for Caleb. Personal best first sector for Caleb. You know, too little, too late. He had this race in the bag pretty much. Just thrown it away. And Thunderdog has fastest lap as well. So that'll be an extra point. So let's see how he handles it this time. So Caleb approaching DRS zone of Chaz. Will he try and get past him again? He spun off last time trying to do that. Looks like Thunderdog's having a rest. Caleb gets a warning for track limits this time. He's right with Chaz again. He's in DRS zone and they're going to be approaching that first chicane. How's he going to handle it? Thunderdog's still 19 seconds up the road, just 3 laps to go at the end of this one. Will Caleb be content to just sit? No, he's not. He's still going for it. There's no way he's going to catch Thunderdog. I'm surprised he's not just sitting waiting. He has a collision now. He's going to struggle to get back to within 3 seconds. But they're racing drivers. They don't just want to sit there. They want to overtake people and race as hard as they can. He's looking for a way through. Chaz defending well, forcing Caleb a long way round. He wants to get round. Approaching the final corner. And you have DRS down the main straight, it's very close. Chaz pulling away, maybe running a low downforce setup. That's not what we thought at the start of the race, so maybe he just got a better exit on that particular corner. He's very close now. Will he try and have a go down to turn 4? Side by side, this is where it happened before. And he's gone for it again, and he's no contact again. But this time he doesn't spin off. Chaz isn't going to give it to him. Caleb's going to have to work for it. I thought he was through, but Chaz stayed there, which he was entitled to. DRS up towards the chicane. Surely this time he'll be through. He's passed before the braking zone. And he has it. He's through. Thanks to DRS. So 2 laps to go at the end of this lap. He's 19 seconds behind Thunderdog, so Thunderdog can just stroke it home. Good fighting from Chaz, didn't give it up, and he's still hanging on to the back of the Caleb. He's only half a second behind. So 2 laps to go. Jackson in P10, he's 4 seconds behind 8th and 9th. So it looks like he's going to run out of time to gain any more positions. Thunderdog personal best first sector on this second to last lap. And Caleb pulling away a little bit now from Chaz. So he looks set in second place. Chaz looks like he's going home in third place, so a familiar looking podium it will be. Caleb personal best first sector. Thunderdog personal best second sector. So they're still pushing at the end of this race. Thunderdog no real need to. He's got fastest lap already. 20 seconds in the lead. He's still pushing on. About to start his last lap and about to extend his championship lead, which currently is standing at 4 points. He will gain another 7. Plus another 1 for fastest lap. But an extra 8-point gain plus the 4, so he'll have a 12-point championship lead going into the next round. I'm pleased with that after qualifying second and getting a 5-place grid penalty. He had a very good opening sector, picked up places quickly. But he seemed set to finish in second place. After Caleb's second stop, managed to get out ahead. Caleb was right behind him. He had the penalty for track limits, but then Caleb inexplicably sped under virtual safety car, and that cost him the race. Caleb trying to steal back fastest lap. He's gone purple in the first sector on his final lap. So that could be crucial. It'll be a 2-point swing. He took it off Thunderdog and gave it to himself, of course. See what his second sector's like. But anyway, in the meantime, and it's just a green, so it might not be fastest lap. And Thunderdog coming to the final corner now, and he's going to take the victory despite all the problems that he's had. Thunderdog weaving down the straights, takes the checkered flag and wins in France despite a 3-second penalty. Well done, Thunderdog. Caleb coming home in second place. Approaching the final corner now. Will he pick up the fastest lap or not?
Yes, let's go!
And crosses the line, and he does! He steals it on the line, so a 2-point swing there at the end. So that could be crucial. And Chaz, great drive from Chaz, P3, not far behind the Caleb at all. So Caleb takes some comfort at the end there, taking fastest lap. So instead of an 8-point swing, in favour of Thunderdog, it's only a 6-point swing, so just 10 points between them at the top of the championship. And there we go. So Jack actually has almost caught up with these others. He's only a second and a half behind P9, so we'll just watch the end of Jack's race as he comes around senior corner. Flat out right-hander, and now to the very late double apex right-hander here, bringing it back in close. Gaggle of cars ahead of him for places, but he's just going to run out of laps. One more lap for Jack. He probably could have got another 2 or 3 places, but I don't think he's going to be able to catch these last 2 or 3 here. But he's had an eventful race, and he brings it home in P10 as Jackaroo round the final corner and crosses the line. So well done, guys. So another win for Kian, extends his championship lead now to 10 points over Caleb, and Chaz kept them honest, very, very close behind, and Jack had a few things going on in that race to be able to challenge them today. So thanks for joining us. Jackaroo's been voted driver of the day, so all sorts going on. So well done, Jack. Thanks for joining us for the French Grand Prix. We'll see you for the next one, which will be in, not sure, possibly Silverstone, but who knows. Tune in next time for the Great British Race Off.